Hey YouTube land, Tycranders here doing another action figure review. Now today I'm doing another review for more Star Trooper figures, which I actually managed to find over here, which is really rare or random. I took a trip to we have over here in Ireland, we have kind of three main toy stores. Smith's being the biggest one. Toy Master is the next one, which we only have a handful around here. There's one in, there's only like, I think 2 in the Cork area, but they're fairly outside the city. And then we have a store called World of Wonder, and there's a few of those around, but they don't seem to stock as much kind of stuff as the other two. But that being said, I had a quick look in one of the Toy Masters, and I managed to find these guys, which are the single carded Star Trooper figures from Lanard. So I just bring in the packaging. You can see it has Parasite Bug, Sub-Orga Head Bug, and figure set. It's the Galactic Exploration Force. And I just bring down the card. You can see the Star Trooper logo, the Lanard logo. The figure would be in the packaging, but I have them removed. I'll flip around the back. So there's only 4 figures in this set. So I've reviewed one already, which is Sluggard, which is the one over to the right here, which is this one. And the 2 that I will be looking at is Leecher and Crusher, which is this one here. The figures that they come with all do appear to be slightly different. And then the info on this is as follows. Infectious sub-org larvae are brain-sucking parasites traversing the landscape of Spinarak 6. Clinging to anything with a pulse, the parasites control the mind and body of the victim to attack other Star Troopers. The sub-orgs are turning the Star Troopers against themselves by changing them into parasitic zombies. Stop the infestation before they continue their life cycle and grow into the adult sub-orgs. So the slightly more adult sub-orgs are these guys, which I've already done a little review. There's even bigger ones than this, but this is one of the ones that I have. But we'll have a look at the figures themselves. So the figures are fairly basic. In the packaging, they come with the alien creature head on. They do come with a oversized gun, just like the other ones. Now, when I first saw these, I thought they were the same gun, but they're actually different. All 3 of them have different guns. If I bring in the other guy I reviewed, he has a right arm for the gun. This guy has a left arm, or sorry, right arm as well. And this one, it has a left arm trigger hand, whereas the alternate hands for these figures then have that they're twisted to be like a grip for like a motorcycle handle or a vehicle handle. So you have that. They're very basic articulation. The legs on this guy is a little bit splayed. I think it's from the box. So if you were to heat it up, you could probably get him back into shape. And I will pop the bug head off, and we'll go through the little bug heads separate. But we'll go through the figures first. I'm going to take their guns out of their hands, the little really oversized guns, just because they do tend to get in the way. So here are the 2 basic figures. So these guys have pretty much basic Kenner Star Wars style articulation, swivel in the head, swivel in the arms, swivel in the legs. So you can get them into a seated position. You can rotate the hand 360 or the arms 360. The head can turn 360 as well. Just like with all Lanard figures, they have what's called the display side painted. So you have this camo pattern, digital camo pattern on the 2 of these guys with the Star Trooper logos. And yeah, this one has the Star Trooper logo in orange on the shoulder. You have a slight bit of orange on this guy as well. But other than that, they're fairly plain figures. Again, as far as I know, they are a reuse of really old Total Soldier figures, I think they were called. So, as far as I know, the original paintwork on these guys would have been camouflage colors or kind of dark greens and stuff. I don't think these are brand new sculpts. If I remember correctly, it said 2008 on one of them. This one actually says 2019. This one says 2019, and let's just check the original one. Yeah, actually this one says 2019 as well. But as far as I know, I think these molds predate that. They might have put new stamps on them. I don't think they're brand new figure molds. I mean, for the type of figure that they are, it seems very backwards to be just bringing basic 5-inch or 5-point articulated figures out. But then again, it is what it is. They do look cool. Had they been more articulated, it would have been a lot nicer. Just for a scale comparison, I'm bringing a basic Star Wars figure. Here's good old Boba. So he has far more articulation for the same scale compared to that. And for another size comparison, here is another Lanard figure. This is the Alien Collection 2-pack with the kind of gold colored alien warrior. I think it's a runner or drone. But you can see these guys, made by the same company, have far more articulation. You have hinges on the arms. You still have the 360 swing. You have a single jointed elbow with a swivel. And if I pop the helmet off, which is removable on these guys, the head is actually on a ball joint. Now, I have reviewed these guys before. If you check back through my channel, I reviewed nearly all the alien sets that you can get over here. So there is that, and the helmet is a little bit of a pain to get on. Now, I know they have reused these guys in the Star Trooper lines for some of the larger sets, so I don't understand why they couldn't just reuse them here for these smaller sets and have a little bit more articulation. It probably would push up the price point of the figures, but it would be worth it in the long run. I mean, like, you have knee joints, and you still only have the swivel on the hip. You don't have like a ball joint or anything like that to give more articulation, and they still have fairly basic articulation, and the hands are even in the same position. So you have a grasp hand, and we probably won't be able to hold a gun, maybe. So, like, you could still hold weaponry, and you have that side arm, the side sculpted hand as well. So there is that. And then just for another comparison of these guys before, yes, I know the bugs are the brain bugs are the best thing about this set. This is the alien that came with that set with the Marine. Those guys are supposed to be Colonial Marines, I think, as far as I know, in the spacesuit, or Weyland-Yutani style characters. But this is the alien. I mean, like, again, this guy still has limited articulation. He doesn't have elbow joints, unlike the larger versions of these guys. But he still retains a good lot of joints, and the price point on these aren't that much more than the basic Star Troopers. Now, each Star Trooper comes with one of these helmets, and as far as I can see, they're exactly identical. So they just slip over the head of the figure. Now, some of them have fairly larger head sculpts because of their hair, like this guy with the sunglasses. Not sure why you need sunglasses in space, but it makes him look cool. But his head is actually slightly larger, so it takes a bit more finagling to get the helmet on, and it's a bit tighter compared to the other guy, who just pops on and can pop out. I would worry about paint rub over time, but more than likely people who have these guys will probably display them with the bug heads. And get this guy's helmet off. It's a bit tight. There is that. Detailing wise, they aren't too bad, but the ballista resistance for these are these bug creatures, which are the parasitic brain bugs. So I think this one is Leecher, was it? No, this one's Crusher. So this one has a very Cthulhu-esque look to it. Has tendrils coming down the front. Has the blue eyes, which is pretty cool. The blue bug eyes do carry over onto the other figures. So you have that. You have this kind of spinal thing coming out the back. Does fit on the figure quite nicely. So as far as I remember, it came with this guy. So it fits on fairly easily enough, and I think you can pretty much put it on any of them. So any of these basic figures will hold the head bugs. This is the other one from the first set I reviewed, and I remember because of the headset he has on, it's a bit tighter for to go on and off, but you can swap the bugs heads over onto the other figures fairly easy, fairly quickly. It's just a hole under the carapace kind of piece. These ones have a kind of similar design with the kind of piece coming off the back. Again, you have the blue eyes, the bug eyes that kind of translate over onto all the other figures. You have this kind of armored piece, which is kind of cool, and then a kind of what looks like some sort of, I'd imagine some sort of lung or something like something that would probably move and look like it has an air sac or something like that on it, which is pretty cool. And then you have this guy, which is Leecher, which is another very nicely sculpted piece. And I just dropped them. So let's see if I can find them. Sorry about that, folks. It kind of decided to roll under a table, so I have to go grab it. So this one is Leecher. As I was saying, it's kind of cool. It has kind of bat-like wing type things on the side of its head. It has this kind of normal, kind of long tail piece compared to the others, which have like a kind of spinal cord tail piece and the kind of almost bone look to it. This also kind of has that bone armory carapace to it as well. Again, it's very nicely sculpted, has some interesting details, and again it has the blue. Unlike the others, you have kind of a good lot of different coloring going on. You have some orange that kind of connects them. This one has the bright green. You have orange and reds. You have like an orangey red for this one and the dark brown. So there's multiple colors going on in these, and at least for the most part these are painted on kind of both sides, whereas like the figures, as I said, have like a display side, and the camo pattern will not be translated over onto the back of those. But again, just with the other figures, these just fit onto the head, and you can still twist the neck around and you can still get the same range of movement out of it. So if you have something like a G.I. Joe figure here is what's his name, Firefly, you can actually throw them onto that, and you can have like G.I. Joe figures being taken over by alien bugs. It depends on the figure, it depends on the head sculpt. Some figures have bigger head sculpts, some figures don't. We have the Rock here from I think this is from the Rampage toy line. So with a little bit of finagling, you probably should be able to get one of these onto his head as well. So these are also made by Lanard. I think this is the Rampage one, or it could be the, what was the other line that he came in? There's two figure, oh yeah, Jumanji or Rampage. I'm not sure which version this one came with. And then just for another, let's take the helmet off this guy. You can use these on these Marine guys as well. So if you just get them into focus, you can use them on these Marine guys as well. It is a bit hindered by the collar of the spacesuit, so, and for the ones that have the piece coming down the back, it does hinder that even more, but you can give them a kind of cool, creepy alien look. So there is that. Overall, they're not too bad. Now, the price point on these guys that I found them over here was for €4.50, which isn't too bad. I think a buddy of mine who picked me up the first one, the price point on them over in the States seemed to be $10, or at least where he found them, it was $9.99. So there is a bit of a interesting price gap. Normally it's the other way around. Normally we pay more for figures over here than we do for getting stuff from the States, but for some reason they seem to have gone the other way. Unless now it was just mispriced and it was on clearance sale, but I didn't see any sale sign on them. I do have one more figure from this line, which is this guy, who came with a glider and came with that, I think he was the one that came with that scorpion set, or the kind of scorpion bug set. I don't think the helmets work on this guy as well because he already has a helmet sculpted onto his head. But as far as I can see, he doesn't seem to reuse any of the body parts from the other guys. We'll just try. Yeah, just as I thought, his helmet prevents him from actually putting the head over it. So it's mostly guys which have bare heads, or kind of like in the case of Firefly, have like a ski mask or something like that. You should be able to use these in conjunction with. If you're really pushed, you might be able to get one onto Batman's head. You can get one onto Batman's head, sort of. So you can have Batman being taken over by a alien bug creature if you want, which isn't too bad. But overall, these sets are quite nice for what they are. They are pretty cheap. The figures you get included are a bit on the plain, boring side, especially since they're only 5 points of articulation. Like, you can use these with other figure sets, or other figure lines, I should say. So you should get away with using them on other things. But for the most part, they're not too bad. I do recommend getting them if you find them just for the bug parts alone. They are pretty cool. I'll just do a line up. If I can get everyone with their respective headgear. So pop you on you. Yeah, you onto, actually, yours should be this one. He's a little top heavy, I think. Got you onto you, so I can give a quick lineup, and you can see with them with their respective headgear, and it actually looks pretty cool. They do work quite nice with the big bugs as well, so there is that. Overall, really nice figures. The accessories look a bit oversized, the guns look oversized, the helmets are pretty nice. You could probably get away with using them on other figures that might have smaller head sculpts. In fact, let's just try it. So for some balaclava or stuff, the heads with the very thin head, small narrow heads, you should be able to get them onto those. So you can do that as well. Overall, good figure line. Do recommend picking them up if you can find them. I know they tend to be kind of hard, hit and miss where you can find these at the moment. Hopefully within the year they'll come out in a bit stronger, in more numbers, and you'll be able to find them a bit easier. I know there's supposed to be a big transport set which reuses one of the larger Lanard Core Elite vehicles, so try and keep an eye out for that. So if I can find one, I'll grab it and do a review for it, but if not, I might have to just leave it off. But I will try and review more of this stuff if I can get them. Well, overall, I am quite enjoying the line. I just do wish those figures were a little bit more articulated, because like Lanard do have multiple sculpts that do have more articulation, even their basic core figures. Like these style core figures have more articulation. Could have easily just reused these and painted them up to look like this Star Trooper stuff. So there is that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was informative as much as possible. And as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.